With the festive season comes a wealth of feast options by eateries and restaurants. Sometimes these good feasts end up with a little too much food left over. So what do these eateries do? Many eateries, especially established ones, take preventive measures to minimize festive food wastage. Some of these measures include taking only advance orders, proper forecasts of food preparation based on previous year's consumption, and using leftovers in dishes on buffet lines. Food wastage was in the spotlight following a report by the National Environment Agency or NEA that more people in Singapore are concerned about the issue and are taking steps to cut wastage. Now we have our food correspondent Eunice Quek right here with us to talk more about this. Welcome, Eunice.
Hi.
Eunice, so good planning is one way to go, right?
Yes,
with reducing food wastage. Hotels have also employed innovative cost-saving ways to reduce food wastage. Could you share more on this?
So Grand Hyatt Singapore, for example, they are Straits Kitchen and Pete's Place restaurants that serve buffet meals. What they do is they allow customers to actually take away the food items for $10 per box during the final 45 minutes of the buffet.
Okay, so you can bring home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, just for $10, and it's great because you don't waste. They don't waste as well, and normally buffets tend to be a lot of food, right? So that's a good idea there. The hotel actually also donates leftover edibles to the needy, and whatever is inedible, they actually feed through their waste management plant, and it converts their food waste into fertilizer.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Some other places like the Pine Garden Bakery, what they do is they actually give away their surplus bread and cakes to neighbors. They even give to construction workers, so I think that's also really good to help others as well. What some other hotels do, Orchard Hotel and Regent Hotel, they actually sell their leftover pastries and cakes towards the end of the night at a discount.
A discounted price. And these discounts, how big do they go usually?
Pretty good actually. So Orchard Hotel, they sell it at 30% off. What Regent does is between 7 to 8 p.m. it's 30%. And after that, it goes at 50% off.
So there you go. So that's a pro tip right there if you want to get
good deals,
discounted good deals, pastries.
Good pastries.
Yeah, right at Orchard Hotel and Regent Hotel.
Yes.
And you know, Eunice, this is something that we talked about before the show. We talked about keeping food and food leftovers, and this is something that we all do, especially during this festive season, right? Leftover turkeys, leftover log cakes. If you could share and then take us through, right? What are some things to take note when keeping and consuming leftover food?
Okay, so as a general rule, the recommended guideline by the Singapore Food Agency is to actually consume food within 4 hours from the preparation time.
Right.
That is the most important thing to remember. Of course, here and there, you always people say, not to waste food, right? So businesses generally do indicate, say, an expiry date or a use-by date or time for consumption and all that. And that's also a good guide. Yes, that's right. Because generally those should be safe to follow because the businesses should have done their due diligence to do like shelf life testing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that can be trusted. I spoke to an expert, Miss Catherine Xia. She's a lecturer at Nanyang Polytechnic School of Chemical and Life Sciences, and she gave a really good tip, which is actually to portion out the food before you even serve it. So let's say you've cooked a huge meal, catering to say 20 people, but maybe you only take out enough for 10, for example. So you portion out first, keep maybe half of it in the fridge, and then the rest you can leave it out. And then once that is finished, then
you cook a second batch.
Or you take out the batch that's in the chiller.
Right. Okay.
To serve. Or if not, then you can keep that. And it's basically just to minimize bacteria because when you leave your food out, everyone's talking over it. You're using your utensils
all over the place. Right.
So then all that leads to bacteria multiplying.
Right. What about, say, if you want to reheat the food? Any tips on that as well?
Yes, so she also mentioned that if you are reheating food, to actually cook it to 75 degrees Celsius for at least 2 minutes. and that is just to ensure that your bacteria is reduced.
Right, okay. So there you have it, tips from food correspondent right here, Eunice Quek. Good tips as well, good discounts, 30 to 50%, right? Right at Orchard Hotel as well as Regent Hotel. Well, thank you so much, Eunice, for coming on to the show to share with us on all this. To read more on the measures taken by eateries to reduce food wastage, you can check it out on our website, straitstimes.com.